Hello, my name is Caitlin McHale, and my Tableau Vivant was created based on the painting titled St. Jerome by Guido Reni. This is an oil painting currently located in the National Gallery's main collection. Although it was originally found in the Barberini family inventory, it was actually acquired from Carlo Guido in 1634. The National Gallery provides an excellent summarization of St. Jerome's life. It states that St. Jerome spent 4 years alone in the desert in order to reflect and become closer to his religion. In this painting, there is a bare tree branch in the back with rock formations around that leads us to the conclusion that he is in the desert. He holds a rock used for self-affliction in one hand and a cross in his other. While he stares longingly at his cross, his arm rests atop of a skull, symbolizing the transience of life. There is a strong chiaroscuro that adds to the dramatic nature of Baroque paintings, as well as the naturalism of St. Jerome's age and emotional expression. In an article by Ivan Guido, he quotes the BBC show creator Kenneth Clark, who explains, "Baroque artists delighted in emotive close-ups with open lips and glistening tears. This is all too evident in St. Jerome's facial features." Mikey Ball also contains information about the thematic elements of Baroque art that are illuminated by the drapery and lighting in Reni's piece. Reni created a lot of religious paintings during this period in his life. He was a rather religious man throughout, and I've provided a few examples of other St. Jeromes that he's painted. Richard E. Spear explains that Reni's studio was in full operation during this time that the painting was created, so that helps to explain why he created so many, as well as why this was first believed to be a copy until it was cleaned by the National Gallery. St. Jerome was a very popular subject to paint during the 17th century, as this was when the Council of Trent declared his translation of the Bible as the official copy, according to the National Gallery. This is my Tableau Vivant of Guido Reni's St. Jerome. I wanted to transform the meaning of the painting and the symbolism to focus on my experiences throughout COVID-19, all while keeping the general aspects of Baroque art, such as the intense lighting and the dramatic human expression. While St. Jerome isolated himself in the desert to focus on his devotion to religion, I devoted my time in isolation to focusing on self-respect. The background of Reni's piece shows rock formations and bare tree branches, while I have a houseplant behind me because I was quarantined in my house. My left arm rests on top of a pile of old college books, diaries, and face masks. The skull under St. Jerome's arm symbolizes the shortness of life. I started writing in these journals at the beginning of 2020, and they have helped me keep track of my daily routines, sleep schedule, and they've assisted me in boosting my overall mental health. However, they filled up very fast, and the college books are all from my first semester in college, and it's hard to believe it was already a year and a half ago. I chose these objects to show my realization of how short life really is. St. Jerome's realization that life is short made him turn to religion. However, I turned to art. St. Jerome holds a cross in his hand to symbolize his devotion. In my Tableau Vivant, I replaced the cross with a paintbrush because this was a huge means of expression for me. St. Jerome holds a rock in his right hand, which he uses to inflict pain on himself, to absolve any sinful thoughts. In my remake, I replaced the rock with a spoon. I did this because when I have negative thoughts or low self-esteem, instead of taking part in self-affliction, which was rather common for religious folks during St. Jerome's time, I bake myself a dessert to try and make myself feel better. And my go-to is ice cream, which is why I chose a spoon. I also used a blanket to mimic St. Jerome's garment. The red drapery in the original piece is thought to symbolize St. Jerome's social status, as he was ordained a cardinal. I, therefore, tried to represent my social status as a college student by wearing my Susquehanna sweatshirt and using a blue blanket that I have with me in all of my Zoom classes. I also tried to mimic St. Jerome's intense facial expression in a more positive mood. While St. Jerome seems to be overcome with sorrow and repentance, I tried to show an extreme version of hopefulness. Now, during Guido Reni's time, religion played a huge role in society. The Pope had extreme power, and there were intense rivalries amongst well-known artists. Mikey Ball explains that these societal structures were the main cause of the prosperous Baroque period. Kenneth Clark elaborates on this point by explaining the church leaders' use of these artworks to demonstrate the control of the human's wild instincts to the masses. In today's world, societal hierarchies are still extremely influential on the art community, but it is less influenced by religion than it was during Reni's time. In the 21st century, there are now many new channels to be used for artistic expression, such as photography and other digital media outlets. These art forms provide artists with the ability to entertain their own personal thoughts, beliefs, or feelings. However, in the 17th century, these religious paintings were commissioned and created for a patron. With that being said, Reni seemed to take a personal interest in religious paintings during this time, so it is possible that Reni had also created this piece out of personal interest. Perhaps Reni wanted to display his strengthening relationship with religion by painting Saint Jerome, who spent 4 years in the desert devoting his time to meditating on Christ's sacrificial death. If this is the case, then Reni and I would share a similar desire of displaying personal interest through our art pieces. As he chose to represent his strengthening relationship with religion, I chose to show my strengthening relationship with myself.